Hey guys, ArnC here, bringing you all another StarCraft commentary. This is going to be the first set in Group D of the round of 32 of the whatever MSL 2010 spring season. It's going to be Cal against Great on Fighting Spirit. We're going to have Cal at the upper left-hand position as, what is that, white? Beige? I think that's white. We're going to have Great, at the, of course, as the Protoss player, by the way. We're going to have Great, a.k.a. Hades, at the upper right-hand position as the blue Zerg player, representing Samson Khan, wherein Cal represents STX Soul. Represent, yo! Or something like that. But so far the MSL has been pretty exciting. Group A and Group F have been pretty cool, pretty interesting games. Overall, Group A, not as awesome maybe because of the heavy amount of ZVZs, but Group F was really interesting. And this group really looks really interesting as well, so I'm looking forward to see what it brings us. We have a... I like it when we have a group that has all the races mixed in and lessens the chance of, you know, same race matches, so that's pretty cool. I mean, same race matches, they're not awful to watch. PvPs are pretty interesting. TVTs can get pretty awesome, and ZVZs occasionally break the barrier of boring as hell, but overall, StarCraft feels a lot more natural and a lot more fun when it's different races playing against each other. So, Cal used to be a sort of a ZVZ specialist. He's going to go for a Forge Fast Expand. He used to be very much a ZVZ specialist, but lately he's become more of a versus Terran, sorry, best at versus Terran. And Great, meanwhile, he's a guy that's overall very good. He's a guy who has sometimes a hard time playing pressure. Okay, never mind on Cal. Cal gonna go Gateway first. And I think, what's that? Is 2 Gateway. Wow, okay, Cal gonna bring in something completely different. Bring in double Gateway. I thought that Forge was late. Or rather, lack of Forge. Double Gateway right outside the natural. This is gonna be very interesting. Sending out the probe to scout. That's gonna scout. Luckily for him, the Overlord for Great went in the wrong direction. And Great's going to go for a 12 hatch. Oh, this could be a... Oh, man, this is a win for Cal right here. There's a rule in StarCraft, don't cheese a Zerg. And this isn't really cheese. It's just a very, very, very strong strategy, very strong attack to start the game off. He's going to go for 2 gateways. Going to try to pump as many Zealots as possible to try to get Zealots on pushing, do some, get some pressure going, do some damage. And Great still, I don't think, has any clue that this is coming at him. Cal, taking a while for Cal to scout this out. Great sending out a drone. A drone scout, which is actually apparently, yeah, gonna go cross position instead of going straight for Cal's base. So Cal, meanwhile, gonna scout Great now. Probably knows where he is at this point because he spotted where the drone was coming from. Initial Zealot is now out, but he's gonna wait before he has a group. To get a group of those before anything happens. If Great scout this, he might have some time to put up a sunken outside because he's gonna be forced to protect his natural now. He can't really. Do much in his main. Probe is going to come in there. Natural hatchery is going to come up. If Great spot this right now, he might still have a chance to possibly cancel his main. Maybe cancel his natural expansion. I don't think he can do that now, but he could have maybe done that and put down a couple of sunkens. Now the hatchery is up, though, and 2 Zealots are coming in alongside several probes. Cal pulled, I think, 3 probes. Great now going to spot this. Going to be forced to pull a bunch of droves off the line. I'm going to see what he tries to do. He's going to try to put down a couple of sunkens right here. Yeah, so at least one of those sunkens might manage to come. Even more drones, all of them coming off the line alongside a couple of Zerglings. So at the very least, he's going to try to save the sunken colonies, but 2 more Zealots coming in. 4, or is that 3? 3 Zealots in here for Cal, several probes as well. No sunken colony as of yet. He's desperately trying to come up, but Cal doing a beautiful job trying to pick that up. One sunken colony is going to be able to come up. Even more. 2 more Zealots coming in now. 3 probes still in there. 1 sunken colony comes up, but instantly goes down to those probes. The second sunken colony is on the way. Actually, no, it's a creep colony. Oh, man. The 3rd creep colony being put down. But that might morph into a sunken. But Cal has now in here with those probes. 1 probe still alive. 3 Zealots in there as well. Sunken colony is going to come up. 4 Zerglings with a bunch of drones in there as well. 6 Zerglings, I'm sorry. More probes, more Zealots coming in and streaming in. Cal just rally pointing his gateways to this position, trying to put on the pressure. Very nice from Cal, I got to say. More Zealots. He's going to have 6 now. One of them heavily damaged, as I saw, but... 6 Zealots to go in this one attack 1 sunken colony, which isn't pretty good, pretty much at full health, I think. And what is that? 8 Zerglings, drones, a lot of the drones mining at the natural expansion just because, you know, why go all the way back to the main. But not really that many resources out there for Great. He's going to put down another creep colony at the front. More Zealots on the way. And meanwhile, Cal just mining back in his own base. 6 Zealots meanwhile now against quite a few Zerglings. No speed. If he had speed on those Zerglings, Great might have a much better chance to fight back. But Cal, he's not... I'm not sure. He's probably not going to allow the second colony to come. He's going to go and start attacking it right now with his Zealots. Or Is he okay? Still waiting. He still has a 6. Probably waiting on his 7th and 8th Zealot before he tries to go for this. He's going to go for it right now. Just as his reinforcements are coming, he's going to try to take that initial front sunken colony down before he's taking a lot of hits from the sunken colony. His initial first sunken colony, frontal sunken colony, I'm sorry, goes down. But now he's only down to 5 Zealots. More reinforcements are on the way. And Great might maybe split up a couple of Zerglings, go inside and try to attack something in Cal's base. Does do that. 2 Zerglings inside of Cal's base. 2 Zerglings not really going to be able to accomplish too much, but because Great really can't split off that many Zerglings from his own base, he needs them to defend. So at least he's going to try to focus the attention of Cal, force Cal to focus on his own base. Cal, meanwhile, still not getting any tech going, has just 3 pylons inside of his main alongside those 2 gateways outside. So he's just continuing to pressure Great right now. Great does have those 2 bases up, though. Yet another pylon down for Cal, but Great still has 2 hatcheries. He's getting some drones going. Not really quite sure if he's producing very heavily on the drones. And he's also putting them under pressure instead of Cal's base. So Cal's strategy might fail for him here. He's actually going to put down a natural expansion here. He's going to feel safe enough to defend it, apparently. He's producing a lot of Zealots. Probably has a control group out them on the ground there. And there, and has 1 Zealot inside of his own base, chasing down those Zerglings, making sure they don't manage to do too much damage, don't manage to pick off too many probes. Still has those Zealots outside pressuring. There's that 1 single sunken colony. And Zerglings there. Cal could go for an attack, but I'm not quite sure how much he would be able to accomplish. There is that sunken colony defended, but still both pairs, not in the best of positions. Cal has some reinforcements, Zealots, 4 of them waiting to come in case he decides to go for the push. He's also trying to micro against these Zerglings in his base. Great, he's almost getting a probe there. Cal barely managing to get it out of the way. Almost lost a probe there, but still not getting any tech. Putting down his natural XP for anything. He's going to try to fight expansions as well. Great actually going to push out now. Cal has reinforcements across the bridge. He's going to engage his Zerglings, but Great has a lot of Zerglings here. Is Cal going to have the Zealots to engage here? Zerglings are speed upgraded, I believe. So it's just going to be a battle overall. The Zealots doing a pretty decent job of fighting back. Cal microing fairly well, but even more Zergling reinforcements coming in for Great. So Great's probably going to be able to take this. Cal's aggressive strategy. Only 3 Zealots left, and the Zerglings is going to run right past them. Actually, I don't think the Zerglings had speed. Yeah, they're just going to continue running right towards Cal's main. And Cal's going to be in a lot of trouble. He has 2 Zealots to block his ramp, but no cannons. No cannons. If he had... Oh, man. Cal, he should have honestly put down a forge, maybe try to defend with some cannons, just in case something like this happened. He has 3 Zealots at the least has 3 Zealots to defend, and Cal going to lose the last of his Zealots there at the front. He's going to try to keep it alive as long as possible, but it's going to get surrounded with those speed upgraded Zerglings and killed off. So still a lot of Zerglings out in the field for Great. Cal, meanwhile, just has that shot. Oh, man! Zerglings! 1 Zergling. Thankfully, only 1 Zergling managed to sneak by. Some probes actually coming off the line to mine. They're going to actually trap that Zergling on the ramp. And Cal going to get those off the line to try to block in. He's been forced to blockade there a little bit at the north between the gateway and the ridge. Forge is up, so we're going to be seeing some cannons. So Cal still might manage to defend this. Losing a probe. Probably going to lose another probe. That second Zealot has quite a few probes to defend until he gets those cannons up. He's going to be forced to do that as well. Doesn't have that much money at the main. Going to lose another probe. No, okay. Thought he was going to lose another probe, but actually picks off the Zergling. Still not a really great position for either player. Cal's going to have his first cannon. Second cannon's going to follow right afterwards, and he has a lot of Zealots out there now as well. On the opposite side, we're going to see a Spire up for Great, and that's probably going to be the game winner. And Cal really should be foreshadowing this. He really should know that this is exactly what's going to be coming at him. He needs to put down cannons pronto, just not getting his first assimilator. And what Cal needs to do right now, if he wants to have a chance of doing this, he has to push out. He's not going to be able to get any anti-air going unless he plops down a bunch of cannons inside of his natural and his main. He's going to need at least 2 cannons at each location, I think, to possibly fight back the Mutas. Just now getting a Cybernetics core, and I think the minute those Mutas come flying out, Cal's going to be in deep trouble. Probe's going to come by. Probably not going to do that sunken colony. Probably not going to manage to get this guy. Cal's going to attempt it. It's going to happen. 1 shot from the sunken. He's going to... Oh, he can't run up that ramp. He knows he can't run up that ramp. He's going to... Yeah, they can't even bother trying because the sunken colony would have killed him if not for the Zerglings. Initial Mutalisk is already out, and there's going to be a lot of trouble for Cal. Great even going to expand at the 3 o'clock location. Cybernetics core still just now coming out. No Dragoons out there whatsoever. Just now started mining gas. Mutalisk come flying in, and we're probably going to be seeing a GG from Cal right now. We're going to see... Oh, the probe is going to start being killed, and just no chance at this point for Cal. His main's going to get ransacked. Just all those probes are going to go down. They're going to finally just now being run out. He, meanwhile, runs out for the aggressive action with his own Zealots. Great reacting to this, perfectly putting down 2 more sunken colonies at his natural export because he knows the only thing he needs to do now is repel the Zealot attack, and he wins the game. But he's also expanding yet again at 3 o'clock position. Yeah, you can spot the look in Cal's face. He's not too happy. Another sunken Evo chamber at the front to act as a blockading building, apparently. But sunken colonies. Zealots engaging with that not nearly enough. Probes coming in at the Natural Expo. Cannons coming in at the Natural Expo, but they're not nearly enough in number. So all of the Zealots going to go down for Cal. There you go. The last Zealot's going to go down. 2 Dragoons are what's going to be fighting. Who are going to be fighting back these Mutalisks. And when you got just a couple of Dragoons to fight back a Mutalisk grouping, you're not in very good position because Mutalisks can really do a lot of damage. Also still picking at those probes. 2 Dragoons, of course, doing half damage against Mutalisks. 1 probe mining at the main. Also, Cal really can't really mine at all at the main. So at the very least, the Mutalisks can't one-shot probes, but still they're very strong. Cal's going to manage to push them back, at least temporarily, with those Dragoons, but still in a very horrible position economically. Lost most of his probes at the main. He's not mining there at all at the moment. It still only has those 2 Dragoons to fight back. 2 more Dragoons now, so he's going to have 4, but still I'm not sure if that's going to be enough to push those Mutas back. Mutas are still going to be able to fly around in great overall in a great position. Cal also sacrificed all of his Zealots when he went for that attack, so now he doesn't have a ground army either to help him in case Great goes for dual pronged attack with those Roglings alongside. Going to go for Hydra Den. So I think he's just going to continue taking up. He's probably going to just tech to quit Lurkers, get as quick. Might go for just heavy Hydras. Might just pump a huge group of Hydras right quick, and he'll be able to break this front very easily. But you also might. I honestly feel it's Lurkers. Lurkers would be good in that, there's not really much to fight back except for a couple of cannons. But I think just a large Hydra army alongside would be good. But never mind. GG coming in for Cal. Didn't really have any opportunity to win back at this game. When you're running around with Dragoons trying to fight back Mutas, you're not in a very good position overall to do much of anything. So great. Despite an early setback, I feel Cal just wasn't as aggressive with that build as he should have been. Should have gone in for the kill right away, but held back, and Great managed to fight him off. So Great takes the first hit, gets to the winner's match, I say. While Cal's going to go to the losers and wait to see who loses in the second set. So GG guys, wrenching out, thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed. I will bring you the second set now. Hey guys, wrenching here, bringing all sorts of commentary. This is going to be the second set in Group D of the Ro32 of the whatever MSL 2010 spring season. The Wrenchin' MSL. I think I'm just going to call that from now on. Wouldn't everybody like that? This is going to be between HiyA and YellOw Arnak, or Yarnak, or fake YellOw, or just YellOw. Generally, people call him Yarnak, and I call him Yarnak as well, simple because it's pretty much the shortest one to say, I think. So we're going to have HiyA as the turn player at the 12 o'clock position in blue. We're going to have Yarnak at the 4 o'clock position in white or beige, whatever color it is, doesn't really matter. It's white enough. It's going to be on Triathlon, the funky new map, and really just don't really know about the map. You don't really know what to expect, which race is supposed to take advantage, because it's whatever a standard map or a sort of a standard map. I can usually look at the map and think, oh, okay, look, these are elements on the map that this race should be able to abuse. But I look at the all the funky factors that they add to this one with the eggs and all that, and I kind of get thrown out of loop, so I don't really know what to expect. So we're gonna see how this evolves and how the races start playing off. HiyA gonna start off by walling off his ramp inside of his main. We're going to see what it is that Yarnak goes for the opposite side. Yarnak, he is, overall a above average player, although he hasn't really played that great recently. But always, his constant high point has always been his versus Terran. His versus Terran at a very high caliber, over 60% win rate for him. So he's always been a very, very good versus Terran player, and has always been capable of sniping even the most high-level Terran player. So HiyA going to complete his wall here with 1 Rex. We're going to see what he decides to go for afterwards. Terrans on this map, I feel a maneuverable build will be very good. Where Baby decided to go against Jaedong for 2-Pit Wraith. I feel 2-Pit Wraith is a very good build for this map. You can fairly easily hide it. You're going to be a pretty decent position. 12 fetch coming in from Yarnak, and he did send his Overlord past the middle, so it's going to go into HiyA's base in about a minute. 57, 58, 59 for syncing purposes, just to help me out a little bit. Drone Scout still going out there for Yarnak, trying to be annoying. There was an SCV that came out and met him. He might still getting some shots off on the SCV. We're going to see a little HiyA. I think I might put down the barracks. Oh, SCV moves to the left side, so it's going to save its life unless it decides to move close to the drone again. Drone still can't fire at it. I think he's going to put out the barracks fairly safely. We saw the Evolution Chamber on the way for Yarnak. I think he actually put that down before he put down his spawning pool. I think he might decide to put down his 3rd hatch before spawning pool. I'm not overall too sure. No, never mind. He puts down his spawning pool. Does have his spawning pool, which he apparently put down before his extractor. So on the opposite side, we're going to see Factory first from HiyA, very quick factory. So this might be a 2-port Wraith build. I'm not overall too sure so far. Overlord gunning in there for YellOw, and I haven't seen a single Marine out there whatsoever. Haven't seen a single Marine out there. HiyA gonna go try to go for this 3 o'clock position spot. There's an extra base there, but no 3-hatch, no crazy 3-hatch action coming down from YellOw, sending one single drone to the natural expansion to start mining, going for a quick lair. So we're gonna see this might be a 2-base lurker build. He's not really adding a production hedge. Might be a 2-base muta build, but I'm not overall too sure. It looks more like he might be going for 2-base lurkers and gonna try to rush and hope to catch HiyA off guard. We're gonna see what HiyA decides to go for. Still don't see his next hit. Yeah, is gonna go for 2-port Wraith. Yep, very good build on this map. YellOw does not send the Overlord towards the upper left-hand natural past those zags to spot whether there was an expansion coming up, but I think his Overlord gonna move to the right side. Probably gonna spot this. So YellOw, as soon as he scouts this, he's gonna be forced to switch to something else, perhaps. Sunken Colony coming up the front, so the Vulture that's coming out here for HiyA is not really going to be able to accomplish much at all, but at the very least, forcing the Sunken Colony, if nothing else. Marine out there, milling out, he's going to start firing on the Overlord, but yeah, YellOw allows that. Yeah, probably would have had to sack that Overlord to get the scout, not wanting to do that, so he's going to force the Overlord, and he still doesn't know this is coming his way. It's going to be very important if he's going for lurkers. Still don't see the Hydra. Still don't see the Hydra list then on for me. If he's going for lurkers, it's going to be very important for him to get a large number of Hydras and just get this up. But he might be in a lot of trouble. If he is indeed going for Spire, he might still get enough Scourge out there to make this, to be able to fight this back. But he's going to need to get Overlord speed pronto. Let's see. Still, is he getting? Just not getting a second yet. Is getting a Hydra Den and a Spire at the same time. So this might be. Not all too sure since he's assuming this is a mech build, I think, so he might be going for Hydras alongside some Scourge. I'm not overall too sure what it might be said. I still don't think he has still don't know exactly what he's going to go for. I still don't think he has a scout set of his base, so it might preemptively go for a couple. Yeah, now knows about those Wraiths. We're going to pick it off their woods, then instantly going to go and try to get as much harassment done as humanly possible. Control tower was up, or on the way up anyway, so we're all going to be seeing Cloak. But these Wraiths might actually accomplish quite a bit before anything's out there to defend. Okay, the initial first Hydra's out there, so he's at the very least going to try to produce as many Hydras as possible, try to summarize them. But these Wraiths, if microed properly, they could still do a lot of damage for HiyA here. Just has to run around, micro, pick off one drone, might even pick off some Overlords, just micro those Wraiths around with only one Hydra there, picks off an Overlord with only one Hydra there. It's not really enough to defend against those Wraiths. Wraiths going to be able to run around and do as much damage as needed. Control tower blinking, so Cloak is on the way. More Wraiths coming in, so he's going to be able to harass pretty heavily with this, but he's going to want to expand. He's going to want to harass and expand as he does so, building up his economy because he doesn't really want to stay off one base for too long. YellOw not going to react to, by actually putting up a base at the 6 o'clock position. It was going to be a little bit economically weak, and expanding at the 3 o'clock position at this point would be too obvious. Would be very easy for the Wraiths to do something about. Scourge are out there for YellOw though, so if he micros those well, there's still no Cloak on those Wraiths. There's a Hydra as well taking fire. Wraiths going to be forced to micro against these Scourge. HiyA doing a decent job. They're going to be very careful. Picks up another Scourge. Only 2 Scourge now left for him. Hydra's actually falling out a little bit there. But for now, forcing those Wraiths back. Vulture coming in, actually going to take a few shots at the Hydra. Take it on one-on-one, actually going to be forced back before it does anything else. Scourge yet again flying right by those Wraiths. Even more Scourge being produced here by YellOw. He's going to go out and try to get in the full scout here, and he's going to go out and try to catch some of those Wraiths while he puts up his own 6 o'clock. I apologize that these games are coming out a little bit late, but I was casting the Winners League Finals with Nuke, so that's a little bit late. I do apologize, but I should do like an official announcement or something maybe, but it is going to come out. It's coming out, I believe, later today on Vile Attack, so do enjoy. We hope to be a semi-permanent fixture on there. We're going to see what happens. I'm probably going to do like epic, huge announcement later on this channel. Evolution chip are now up, and YellOw is going to go for Mutas, so he's going to try to fight this back with Mutas. He's had a couple Hydras down the ground, which he won't really use to try to defend this initially, but and also in case HiyA switches to a more heavy mech army, he's actually adding in a barracks right now. A second maximum, he might actually be switching over to M&Ms, going for an M&M build off this 2-port Wraith, going for a little bit more time. Has an academy on the way as well, and he did have his engineer bay up, so he's alongside a few turrets. Still not upgrading weapons 1 on those ground forces yet, though. But he really wants to think about an expansion. Wraiths coming in, picking up even more drones. But YellOw has 3 bases. He's been a little bit economically harassed. And this Wraith with Cloak will be able to fight that back. This Mutalisk pretty well. But still, HiyA only is sitting on 1 base right now. It really needs to pick up an expansion. That 12 o'clock position looks fairly good. Spore Colony inside the main right now. So these Wraiths... Spore Colony inside the main right now. So these Wraiths are going to be forced back. A lot of Wraiths, though, for HiyA, and picking up a Scourge there as well. So he's done a pretty decent job overall of doing some damage. He still hasn't scattered at 6 o'clock. And if he'd done so, he would be in there with those Wraiths, killing off all those drones because they're extremely vulnerable. So more Rex being added in. 1 Scourge. Oh, I don't know how that missed. Scourge just flying right by those Wraiths just after they took out their brethren. But yeah, still no spotting on the 6 o'clock. Really, those Wraiths would be in there picking off all these drones if you knew about that. But yeah, you can spot that. And he has no idea that ArnC has that 3rd base. Flying in with his Wraiths towards that position now. I'm not quite sure if he scanned it or not, but he has to be feeling suspicious at this point that there's something going on. As soon as he spots that base, he should feel safe enough. He's going to do a lot of damage here to these drones, and he should feel safe enough to do some Spore Creep Colony coming in, but that's coming in very late. Nice. Nice burrow here, but a scan coming in from HiyA, so he's still going to pick off all these drones. Never mind the burrow. Creep Colony coming in, but not morphing into a Spore because all the drones died anyway. Meanwhile, now going to become a Mutalisk counterattack coming in straight for HiyA's main. He has several turrets out there, but Relays are going to be forced back. Only a couple Marines there. Not quite. They probably don't even have Stim yet. Going to be trying to, yeah, kill the minute they try to fight back. There's still some turrets in there, but the Wraiths are going to be forced to come back and try to fight these Mutalisks off. Mutalisks, meanwhile, going to get some decent damage done, picking off most of the ground army. Overlord's coming in as well. I'm wondering if this is going to be for a drop or not. If the Wraiths spot that, it might actually go for the Overlords. Overlord speed is ready there. Wraiths are going to go straight for those. Never mind the Mutalisks. He knows that he's going to be able to accomplish a lot of damage here, cloaking up. So never mind the Overlords. He was no way he was going for a drop. Just acting as you want to have a lot of Overlords cloaked, grouped together to act as spotters against those Wraiths. Act as detectors, because having only one of them means that Wraiths can just focus fire that down and then rip your Mutalisk to shred. But it's still pretty decent size number of Wraiths. Academy is still blinking, so I think Stim's not quite ready yet. Might be for ranging now, but I think he went for Stim first. And he doesn't really have that much of a ground army. He's still sitting only on 1 base, so I feel HiyA is in a lot of trouble. YellOw has been allowed to sit on 3 bases for a while, although he did take a lot of economic damage. The 6 o'clock position was completely ransacked. All the drones killed, and poor workers dying. And he doesn't even have a fully saturated natural expo either. Actually, now that I think about it, he's been focusing very heavily on the Mutalisks. Hope for his sake that he's sort of resaturated at 6 o'clock, at least a little bit. Partially picked up the 3rd gas yet again. HiyA is still sitting with, what, 3 Raxes right now, floating 1 off, getting a little bit of a Medic Marine force, picking up a Scourge that scouts it. So YellOw at the very least in the know at all times, going out there with a Scourge to sacrifice it to at least get a scout. Finding a turrets coming in at that far left, upper left-hand position, hid by the X. Mutalisk is still, of course, going to be able to go there and harass it. There are a couple of turrets coming up before the command center is going to be built, so Mutalisk is going to fly towards the location, going to spot those turrets, going to engage the turrets and nothing else. We're going to see whether the Wraiths actually come in here and try to engage these Mutalisks or not. Mutalisk going to very, 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 very heavy number. HiyA's actually going to move out with his Medic Marines, wondering what he's thinking to accomplish with this. Has his Wraiths alongside, so if he micros his Wraiths and his Medic Marine troop both at the same time, he might manage to accomplish a decent amount, might actually do a lot of damage to the Mutalisk. Although he doesn't have weapons 1 on his Marines yet. I'm not even sure if he has range yet. He definitely has Stim at this point. Range, I'm not 100% sure. At the very least, he's forcing YellOw to put a couple extra Sun Guns into his Natural Expo because of those Medic Marines moving out. And right now, it's just going to be basically who controls the air. YellOw has his Overlord alongside some Scourge and Medic Marine and Mutalisk, Scourge, and Overlords to fly around, while the Wraith on the opposite side for HiyA alongside his Medic Marines on the ground. So at the very least he can do a sort of dual-pronged attack, but I still think his Wraiths are a very critical factor. Mutalisk going to come in inside. HiyA was starting to put up his natural expo there at the upper left-hand. Overlord's going to be caught a little bit out in the open, so a few of them going to get sniped before the Wraiths fly away, forcing the Mutalisk back. HiyA going to push down, which has weapons 1 at this point, probably has range as well, so he's thinking to try to push those Sunkens. Not going to manage to do too much there, but meanwhile the Mutalisks are going to pick off this command center. Interesting enough, there was a turret there very close to the ground, so HiyA's being prepared. YellOw actually has enough Mutalisks to split the numbers. He's meanwhile prevented that a natural expansion from coming up, so HiyA knows he's very much not a very good economical position, been 1 base for way too long. Goes in with these Medic Marines to pick off these sunken colonies. Wraiths come in to support as well. Wraiths are not going to be able to do too effective until those Spore colonies go, and Medic Marines are going to focus down those Spore colonies, so now the natural expansion is extremely vulnerable. Hatchery going to go down. All the drones being pulled off. Mutalisk coming in, though they might actually manage to pick. Yeah, they're going to manage to pick off all of this ground troop. Way too many troops on the ground. With Carapace 1 upgrades, no less. Raid's going to be forced back in Yarn, and HiyA just does not have the economy, the econ right now to fight back at this point. Still has those wraiths, but not in a large enough number. Way too many mules in the air. When the mules in such a large number, you can fight toe-to-toe. Science facility coming out now for HiyA, and he just does not have the economy to support this. Still building some medic marines. Still has a small medical marine troop, but despite the fact that ArnC was forced to not mine from his natural for a little bit, not a very good position to be in whatsoever. So raids are gonna be fighting back. We're gonna see. Oh man, these mutalisks just being absolutely critical for him. I think they actually went in and sniped the science facility earlier because there's a science vessel out there, but his science facility was being rebuilt. So pretty sure that he actually had sniped the science facility. He still doesn't have radiate on that science vessel. So science vessel just hiding on top of the command center. Carapace is stealing those mutalisks now, so they can take a hefty amount of damage and can just stand right on top of those marines and dish out without dying. So they don't, weapons 1 upgrade don't really need at this point. You really want to just be able to take the damage from medic marines and just sit on top of them. It's such a large number. When you have such a large number, it's kind of more important that they all survive, and because if they do, they're just going to be able to do the constant amount of damage. ArnC at this point, I feel he's going to expand yet again to a 3 o'clock position, but at this point, I feel he actually might go for the killing blow. I suppose he's avoiding it because he doesn't want to get his entire Mutos group caught between medic marines and wraiths and possibly, basically open himself up to allowing HiyA to pick up another base, but I still think he's going to be able to pick up a 3 o'clock base with no troubles whatsoever. HiyA's not going to have anything to go out and harass any of his bases. The only real place he can attack at the moment is actually either the 6 or the Natural Expo, and if he tries to go for an attack, he's just going to expose his own base significantly, and those mules are going to be able to fly and do a huge amount of damage. So the ball is definitely... What's it saying again? Ball is in your court? Ball is in your something? But yeah, definitely ArnC with a huge advantage at this point. HiyA still doesn't have a Natural Expo mining, and his main's almost mined out. He was putting down a command source, so he might float that off, but even with that extra base, he's been on 1 base against the 3 base Zerg for too long. He did do that initial damage, but he stayed on 1 base for far too long. Command source is still not out for him yet. He's still going to have to float out. He's going to move out with a fairly sizable medic marine troop, which I'm actually questioning how he managed to get up with a small economy he had. Actually moving into the race now, going to try to take the creep colonies before they turn into sunken, before they actually even come up. Yeah, going to start up by picking off 1 creep colony. There's a science facility out there. Is going to start up again, 1 irradiate on the mutalisks, and that's going to get split off in time because ArnC didn't really have his mutalisks all grouped up in 1 heavy ball. But he has probably over 2 control groups at this point. Also has lurkers out in the field. That's going to force scans, going to force the time filter to be very important, but I really don't think he wants to engage against lurkers all over the place. Actually putting down a contain on HiyA's Natural Expo. He has those marines out there, so at the very least, thanks to scan science facility. Oh, science facility keeping that alive from those scourge, but at the very least he's going to be able to spot. Gets another radiate off on the mutalist, so that's pretty good. Oh, doing a decent amount of damage with that radiate. This time splitting off a little bit too late, but the race coming in actually could a 30 radiate. Oh, that's actually Mute's going to fly in right on top of those minis. The lurkers that we're putting on container actually going to move southward towards the National Expo. They're going to try to do a semi-pincer attack. One of them actually going to get picked off as they do so. Medic Marines actually forcing. I think the Natural Expo has gone down at this point. Mule's going to raids fighting out. The Science also still doing critical factoring. ArnC doing a beautiful job blocking the ramp with his lurker X, putting on delay as long as he possibly can. Still has a sizable force of mutas. Unfortunately, have been dwindled down significantly from earlier on. Those irradiates coming in from HiyA at beautiful times, significantly weakening these mutalisks. Sunken colonies not quite up. Lurkers coming in, irradiated. The second that happens, whoa, he has enough radiate. Throwing constant radiates from 1 single science vessel. He was basically waiting there. Meanwhile, as it did so, just getting all of its energy going. Mule's going to again try to micro against these medic marines. This is the last thing that HiyA has. If he gets this done with this attack, that'd be good. I don't think he has any wraiths left, but if he gets it done with this attack, he's even more reinforcements ready to go, but there are some lurkers blocking his way. But if he gets it done with this attack, he's in a good position. Finally has an own actual expo up and takes down ArnC's Natural Expo. So ArnC's actually being a little bit sloppy there, loses all of his tech alongside. Hydrogen on the way and Spire on the way, but the only thing he can produce right now is put down sunken colonies and produce Zerglings at this point, so he's in a pretty bad position. There, actually, some Scourge out there near the north side, waiting for the for that Science Vessel, I think, and maybe even might get that dropship. Dropship's going to be forced back. Actually, not going to get taken out at all. Wow, 6 Scourges flying right on top of Medic Marines and just getting taken out instantly. It's kind of sloppy there. two creep colonies, a bunch of creep colonies on top of that ramp with some Zerglings. Now going to get turned into Sunken, so they're going to force HiyA back, but HiyA has already done a significant amount of damage, really weakened the Mutalisk grouping, took down the natural expos, so Yarnak mining off 2 bases right now, should be mining off the 3 o'clock as well, so probably mining off 3 while HiyA's mining off 1 because his main's definitely depleted at this point, but at the very least, he's managed to get another working base up. He's now going to focus on defending that, and might eventually try to transition to another base. I'm not quite sure if he's going to try to transition towards that upper left hand yet again, because it's a little bit more out in the open, so instead to make it easier for himself to defend, kind of bulk up and reinforce, he might instead try to go bypass those eggs and try to go for the 2 o'clock expansion. Also going to open himself up to dropping the 3 o'clock position, but HiyA definitely got himself back into this game. Really surprised me. We're going to go for a double dropship. One of those actually taken down before he can do too much, but dropping right on top of that 3 o'clock position. Going to do a lot of damage there. Nothing whatsoever to defend. No sunken colonies. This is going to get taken out. Yarnak now has nothing but his main at 6 o'clock, and I don't think his main really doesn't have that many resources yet. Only mining off 2 bases at this point. He's in a pretty bad position. HiyA only mining off 1, but still, he's been on in mad saturation this entire time. So Hydra's going to go out there to gain these mini greens. They're going to get ripped to pieces. These Sciencel's not going to come in too close to that sport colony at the front. Lurker's going to be on the ramp, and now still YellOw is just going to be forced to play a game of delays. Double irradiate on top of all those Lurkers. Oh man, beautiful game from HiyA. Nice comeback here. I definitely think he has advantage at this point. Just managing to fight back. Still feel Yarnak should have accomplished something with those Mutalisks earlier on. But 3 irradiates, absolutely critical irradiates, with Wraith support, sacrificed all his Wraiths, and did beautiful Medic Marine usage as well. Really whittled down those Mutalisks. Still has some of those in the air, but took out the Natural Expo. And what's in general situation, I feel taking out the Natural Expo wouldn't have been as huge. But Yarnak has all of his tech there, and now he's going to go drop at this 6 o'clock position. Science Vessel's at the front as well. Mutalisk's going to come in. Does he have another radiate for those Mutalisks? Mutalisk's actually going to black off now. Did I say black off? That's interesting. You raise his bastard wrench, and you are despicable. Dropship actually going to move back. There's one skirt that's going to catch it. That's not going to do quite enough. Dropship barely going to live past if those Mutalisks spot it. They're going to be able to finish it off in no time. But yeah, definitely feel that taking out that natural expo pretty much a huge move by HiyA, because all of the tech was there, everything was there, all the important parts were there. HiyA is meanwhile going to take that upper left hand past the eggs expo. Radiate going to come out those Mutalisks yet again to get a pretty nice split this time around though. But still, you see the 4 Science is just going to start irradiating the Overlords at this point, hoping that the Mutalisks might stay around them. Yeah, and some of them actually do. Lurker is going to try to burrow at this very edge here, but Medic Marine is just going in very close, forcing him down, irradiating Overlords. So now he can even afford to do that, trying to irradiate so that, they're going to be forced to drop these Lurkers earlier than they want to. At this point, they're going to wait here. Thanks to the Overlord, might actually take down those eggs. But still, HiyA in a very strong position now. Going to be mining off a second base. Yarnak going to try to go for a drop at the 12 o'clock. We're going to see whether HiyA decides to go for a full frontal attack. He's actually been splitting in forces quite a bit. Lurkers are going to prevent that command center from coming up. But I think HiyA is going to have enough to take care of that. Double Carapace, 2 Carapace upgraded Zerglings running down to die to weapons, 2 upgraded Medic Marines. And still don't know why HiyA really hasn't pushed it. For now, actually, he's been playing smart, though. He's been playing very smart in that deciding not to push is not deciding he's done the damage he needs to do. So right now what he needs to do, just prevent Yarnak from doing what he wants, get his own bases up. He hasn't, as I thought, that upper left hand was a little bit more vulnerable than he might have wanted. I still think that 2 o'clock would have been less vulnerable. Maybe even that the inside 12 o'clock would have been less vulnerable, more vulnerable to a ground attack, but because HiyA has this contain going, there's no real way, except for drops, for Yarnak to go for a full-on ground attack, and that place has such a short resupply route that I honestly feel she would have been able to do a lot of damage. A couple of Lurkers here at the front not really doing much of anything right across the eggs, waiting for any forces that foolishly try to run across, and also waiting on top of those ruined exploded bits of a command center at that upper left-hand base. Whew, okay, a little bit of a stoppage in gaming here, but HiyA is still pumping out a lot of troops, and putting down another command center, thinking of floating towards the upper left hand. Lurker's actually okay. Drop bypass thanks to the overlord. Bypass those. They're going to try to go for something here. Going to try to go for those supply depots. Take down out academy as well. Just to try to do as much damage as he can supply wise. Try to do some supply damage. Large medic marines in position here. I'm not quite sure if they're quite a large enough number of command center. Meanwhile, getting floated off. HiyA spotting the base that Yarnak was putting down at the lower left hand. He's going to pick that off very easily. And I don't think Yarnak has any economy at this point. His main's definitely out by this point. 6 o'clock. Might be mining a tiny little bit, but not really much else. HiyA at this point feeling safe enough to push out. He's going to pick up that Spore Colony, continue attacking. Sunken Colonies, he's still going to go down. One Lurker and a Fuse Lurker is going to try to come in, but they're just going to get ripped to pieces. 2 more Lurkers additionally. Science Vessels going to be able to move into this position to help support. And Yarnak has been doing, at the very least, trying his best to, focus the attention, focus HiyA's attention off his own main, but he's done a pretty bad job. He's done a decent job of it, but just hasn't been as successful as he would have wanted. Going to try to go for another drop with 2 more Overlords. Not that many forces here for HiyA. He's actually sacrificed quite a few supply depots, still floating that off that command center, but not going to be able to land on top of Lurkers. But HiyA, I don't really know why he doesn't move at least a small troop down here to resupport. He did have those dropship at a lower left hand. But even though he's just going to move up this ramp, and GG finally coming in from Yarnak. HiyA, surprisingly, beating Yarnak here after I feel Yarnak kind of blew his lead a little bit. He had the maneuverability advantage and had HiyA on 1 base to his 3. But HiyA, absolutely beautiful comeback here, getting back into this. So Yarnak going to be forced to go into the losers match while HiyA moves on to the winners. So looks like a pretty interesting group. We're going to see what happens. So GG guys, wrenching out there listening. Hope you enjoyed, and I will see you when I see you in the winners match. Later. Right, hey guys, bringing you another StarCraft commentary. No, I'm not really that tired. Hey guys, Rancher here, bringing you another StarCraft commentary. This is going to be the winners match in Group D of the, whatever MSL 2010 spring season. It's going to be on odd I2 between HiyA at the upper left-hand position in brown as the Terran player, and Great, aka Hades, at the bottom right-hand position in white or beige or whatever that is, as the Zerg player. So, I would say 2 upsets, actually. I think most people would have expected Cal to beat Great and get himself into the winner's match. And I think most people would have expected Yarnak, despite him not playing at his best lately. I still think people expected Yarnak to take out HiyA, especially with his ZVT specialty. But that was not the case, so now we got the 2 guys that have been upsetting each other, and one of them, I think, upsetting other people. And now one of them will move on to the round of 16. Both of these players overall rather experienced. They haven't really had much Star League success, either of these guys. Although Great has gotten, I believe he got into the semifinals of the Bacchus OSL, Batu OSL. I'm not old to get through. I think it was the Bacchus OSL, but I'm not really too sure. I'm pretty sure that was him. And so he's at the very least has more experience in that. But both of these guys have had their best success in the Pro League. Great especially. Overall, a better player, I feel. He's solid in all 3 matchups, so he can bring the game whenever he's on fire. And he has kind of ups and downs periods. Sometimes he wins a lot of games in a row, sometimes he doesn't. And he really has the capability of beating pretty much anybody out there. HiyA, meanwhile, is a player that's more of a Protoss sniper, but he can still bring some good matches, as we saw against Yarnak earlier on, where he was ahead, then behind, significantly behind, and then he was kind of equalized, then he was ahead, then he was significantly ahead, and then he won. So, kind of like that. I'm going to see him putting down his barracks to start off. On the opposite side, we see Great going for the 12 hatch, so he's going to try to go for yet another 2-base build. Seems like a good old standard ZVT going down here. Drone Scout coming around being irritating because the Overlord takes an age to get there. Going to try to force a force a delay of that barracks, but it's not going to happen. Drone's just not going to manage to do that, especially with another SCV going there and being annoying. We see the spawning pool coming down as the SCV comes in for HiyA to scout. So I'm just wondering what kind of... Generally, you see 2-base mutas coming in, but it's all going to come down to really what HiyA does and how Great scouts it. If HiyA might go for 1 Rex into Expo, you might go for Mecha did the last time. Yeah, I don't think Trooper Wraith is as effective on this map, simply because the map doesn't really... There's a lot more open area and not as much... not as many hills and stuff like that for the Wraiths to take advantage of. So we did see that a Natural Expo being put down into production hatchery being put down by YellOw, so he's most likely going to go for 2 base, 3 hatch mutas, while HiyA is going to go for 1 Rex into Expo. And I've been now consistently told that barracks is not a word, that barracks is both a singular, is a plural word. It's just barracks in the plural and in the singular, and I apologize. Sometimes you just don't know these things. Second Rex coming up now for HiyA, still not putting down his refinery, so he's gonna go for 2 Rex off that 1 Rex into Expo. Gonna try to get some decent forces out there. Maybe even put a bunker at the front, although I'm not really expecting that because not really only a couple of Zerglings out there for Great. And just a supply depot to block, if nothing else, to at least make the choke a little bit more. Refinery coming down there, so probably going to see the academy come up fairly soon as well, and the upgrades coming in. Might actually wondering whether we're actually going to see. Probably would have actually seen that already, but some players generally these days actually go for engineering before that. I think HiyA almost did. Heavily damaged. One more hit, and that ECV actually didn't quite lost the micro there, and actually lose the SCV now lost to the micro in there a little bit. But has some 5 Marines at his next Expo. He's going to continue producing those. Academy up first. So he's not going to go for Engineer Bay first. But he should be expecting Muta's Extractor coming down the next Expo. So there's definitely will be Mutalisks coming out here for YellOw. And he has really stellar Mutalisk micro. I'm sorry, from Great. I apologize. And Great has some very good Mutalisk micro. Brew is a player that has a... Well, most Zerg players these days have to have very good Mutalisk micro, and Great still has been able to utilize it many ways before to help him win games. He has overall very nice army control from what I've noticed, and as a Zerg player that can be very important. Creep Colony going to be at the front to... he spotted all those Marines, and just in case there's going to be pressure coming out, a couple medics are going to be coming out next, most likely, and alongside a 3rd barracks. I think I've actually referred to Great as YellOw a couple of times, and if I have done so, I apologize. I have meant to say Great this entire time. Spar going to come down at the natural Expo, most likely to maybe fake out. Hydro is then alongside though, so I'm not sure what that is. The Overlord still hasn't gotten in. I'm not sure if has an Overlord inside there. I think he doesn't know exactly what to expect, so he's going to go for a couple of. Might even go for Lurkers alongside. We're going to see what he decides to go for. It has a couple of HiyA on the opposite side. It has a couple of Firebats coming out alongside his grouping. So he might still pressure in. Hydra's then already out now, but Spire is going to be on the way. Going to be a little bit late. Not really much out there to defend at this point for Great, but he's going to be able to move it. I thought of going for that attack, but HiyA smartly keeping those 2 Firebats out of his own base in case that happens. Put it down 3 Sunken Colonies outside his natural Expo. That's going to most likely prevent those Medic Marine troops from doing too much damage overall. But yeah, so far he's just HiyA's kind of just milling them around, walking around. Has some Zerglings actually coming in from the back and try to pick up something. Yeah, just gets a couple of Zerglings killed and not much else accomplished whatsoever. HiyA meanwhile getting his weapons on upgrades going and getting his old defensive going. He's going to be putting down turrets momentarily. He's going to want those with those Mutalisks coming out there for Great. Still has a couple of Zerglings out there on the field, but he really wants to be careful how he uses that. Doesn't want to get those picked off. Wants to keep those in reserve just in case HiyA decides to go for the full frontal attack. Although really don't think that's going to be coming in. It's going to be I think that would be a little bit far too risky. We actually interesting that I saw the Spire come up, but still don't see any Mutalisk popping. He's just going to go for Hydras right now. That's kind of interesting. Wondering whether he's just going to turn these into Lurkers right now. But on the opposite side, we see HiyA go down for bunker. I'm not really quite sure what Great is going for here. He has a Spire up, but he's actually producing Hydras right now, and I'm wondering if he's going to try to go for Lurkers alongside those Mutalisks as well. He's been mining the second gas pretty long enough. Evolution Engineer coming out, so there is going to be almost like, Lurkers, 6 Lurkers coming in from those eggs. But he's going to be able to defend this front with nothing but Sunken Colonies for now. So a bit of a tech switch coming in for him and going for very heavy Lurkers. Definitely thought he was going to go for Mutas, but still might actually go for those Mutas alongside fairly soon, as long as he gets. Soon he has his Lurkers up, but he's going to want to take a 3rd base if he wants to think of that. If he wants to go for dual tech, moving in some of those Lurkers right there, but kind of getting them picked off. And I feel like I need more coffee. Spending last night casting with Nuke for hours until way late into the morning, and then staying up even late afterwards. I have that sometimes. It's like 5 in the morning, and I want to go to sleep, but you don't. Great, finally going to clear up a little bit, push out, getting one of his Lurkers picked off, but pushing out, didn't do that much damage though, so, but at the very least, trying to pressure back Well, basically letting HiyA know, hey, I have all these lurkers here. Be careful, be wary. Just basically trying to open himself up and open himself a point where he can do something. Let's see, HiyA's gonna go for it. Gonna go scan. A lot of lurkers on the ground. Definitely not something he wants to engage in. Those lurkers as well to take some of the damage. So great, the release is slowly but slowly inching out. Gonna try to take these forces. They're gonna try to push them back. There's a huge number of lurkers. Let's see, Medic Marine's going to go down again, scanning off. 2 lurkers almost getting picked off, but instead do a huge amount of damage. Now, all those Medic Marines getting caught in by those Zerglings. Lurkers pushing back even more forward. Beautiful job here by going for these lurkers instead. Medic Marines still doing, good job of picking at least one off, but very small number of Medic Marines. And actually, some of these lurkers are going to go to the left side. So great thinking of picking up an expansion there. Has a drone. Pretty good smart job by him. He's pushed HiyA back so far. And he should have some more troops coming in. The opposite side, HiyA, I think he's going for siege tanks. Has a starport coming up as well, so he's going to be taken to science vessels. And, of course, with those lurkers in the area, you want those. Going for Hive. Whoa, great going for a Hive on only 2 bases. He's going to pick up a third, going to try to pick up that double extractor at the lower left, and going to try to support whatever he's going to try to support with that. Thinking he's going to go for Defilers. There's some lurkers there. Oh, not going to manage to block that SCV. But SCV spotting those lurkers, trying to pick it off desperately. So going to continue down to the lower left, and might still spot that. Weapons 1 on those Medic Marines. Lurker's going to push back up again. One of them almost getting picked off as that happens. Not quite. Still no Carapace upgrade down those Lurkers. CV, we're going to spot the lower left hand coming up. We're going to see whether HiyA decides to actually pressure that or just keep on the pressure on Natural Expo. Is waiting for the initial siege tank. I still think he's waiting on that. Has siege mode on the way. But Defiler mount, yes. So great, not going to make the mistake some Zerg players have been doing, going for Ultras before Defilers, and I honestly feel it's weakening your build, because especially you want to be able to, you should only push out with Ultras late game, because unupgraded Ultras fall to Medic Marines so easily. You want that speed upgrade, you want that defense that armor upgrade, the double armor upgrade, and you definitely want cracklings on the ground to help you support lurkers. Some of those are going to burn down. I'm wondering, don't think they're cracklings quite yet. There are going to be adrenal gland upgraded fairly soon, though. So we're going to see how it is that Great managed to utilize this. And Defilement is on the way as well. He is going to be able to put down the lower left-hand position, pick up the double gas. Still moving out with his Zerg. He's doing a beautiful job of picking these forces apart. As I said, very nice unit control. Occasional hiccups here and there, but he manages to keep most of his lurkers alive at all times and make the Zerglings take up most of the hits. And of course, those Zerglings are rather expendable at this point. He has a little left hand up, going to get that double gas up. So Defilers going to be very heavy lurker build for him. Has Nidal's Canals out in the field as well. Second evolution chipper coming up. This is very smart for him. He's most likely going to focus on Defiler Ling Lurker. And as long as he manages to keep HiyA to 2 bases, he's going to be in decent position. Those tanks are going to be a little bit of a danger with the Science Vessel as well. He has some Scourge out there, though. But he's definitely going to want to push this back. Scourge, come in, come on, come on. Yes! Scourge going to catch the Science Vessel. Going to force HiyA to scan and wait on more Science Vessel before he decides to push down. Yeah, he's going to go back. He's not going to continue his push to the lower left hand. There is a Nidus Canal there, so there are going to be lurkers waiting. I'm wondering whether it's going to put any second colonies to act as blocker as well. Natural Expo is fairly well defined. It has Nidus Canal at every location. It has Defilers at every location. So great, setting himself up with a very good defensive position. He was picking up the double extractors at the low left hand, so he's going to be able to support a fairly gas-heavy army, despite only being on 3 bases. And HiyA still on 2. So defense, economically, I feel that it is fairly even. Second starport coming in for HiyA, so he's going to try to has 2 evolution engineering base. I'm sorry. The Terran equivalent of an evolution ship, engineering bay, 2 engineering bays. I actually thought I only saw one of them flashing, but yeah, he has that second starport on the way, so he's going to be able to produce science vessels off 2 stargates. But still, I think these, economically speaking, both these players are pretty even. But I still think that Great's done so far better to win the engagements. Darkstorm almost managing to pick off, didn't quite manage to get in close enough to science vessel. Picks off 1 tank as well, almost picking off a second one, but he's going to hold for now. Has the Darkstorm came in at a very good time. And really smart play for him to keep those Defilers at all places. 2 Defilers is natural, and they can just, go to every single Nidus Canal, just can maneuver them very well to defend. So every time HiyA going to try to go for attack anywhere, he's going to find himself facing a lot of Zerg reinforcements. Again, going to try to move some force to the lower left and can manage to radiate the Defiler, but double Dark Swarm's going to come off, and I think there are going to be reinforcements. Defilers coming in. So Lurker's moving out on top of the Dark Swarm, going to try to pick some of those forces up at the front. Oh, almost managed to pick some of those off. Not quite. Meanwhile, going to move out with a Zerging. Oh, going with a drone to the upper right. He's going to try to pick up a second double gas. So great knowing. Great, doing a great job. That's Yeah. Doing a great job trying to pick up that upper right hand. It's leaving him a little bit vulnerable. If he manages to get that down, put that down before he gets noticed, and plant down a Nidus Canal in there before anything else, he might actually hold it. If he gets a Nidus Canal in there, he might actually hold it. Medic Marines right now, weapons to arm upgraded. Armor 1 should be on the way already. Let's see. Sciences will come in irradiating some of these natural expo going to be threatened. There is a Dark Swarm on top of there. One irradiated Defiler. That's going to die, but still getting a couple of those Dark Swarms on top of those bases. Not quite on top of those Suction Colonies, but still doing a very good job. Has some Lurkers in there as well. And actually milling some of his forces towards the upper left-hand position, towards that 12 o'clock position. I'm wondering whether he's probably thought, hey, maybe HiyA's picking up another base for himself, but he's actually not doing that. Thought of maybe pressuring that. Gonna spot a science facility flying around there, but not doing much else as well. Still not quite sure if he's picked up the upper right hand. Whenever HiyA tries to pressure something, I'm just really surprised. Great has all times forces ready. Some Zerglings running around here close to the natural expo. He's not going to be able to pressure too much. Has a Defiler. Going to get the Defiler under Dark Swarm. Second Dark Swarm coming. Lurkers trying to desperately get under those Dark Swarms. One of them going to manage to get in right up to those tanks. More Lurkers going to run around. Actually, two of those are going to retreat instantly enough. Actually, only keeping two of those Lurkers in there. But now they're going to be two dropships out there for HiyA. I'm wondering if he's actually going to use those for those two Lurkers that should go on this high ground and try to drop there instead of staying on the safety. Probably just wanted to make sure he could save them. A couple of dropship moving out and some Scourge out there to spot this. We're going to see some Morgans ready for this. Couple of dropships are going to drop on top of this main. This production hatchery is going to be a little bit in danger. One dropship goes down. Second dropship goes down. Not that many forces to defend for Great but he has Lurker and Zerglings waiting on the ramp. I think he's waiting until he gets a Dark Swarm on top of that. A couple of Zerglings will be able to get that, and a Dark Swarm against this attack is going to be absolutely critical. He needs to get another decent Dark Swarm off, get those Lurkers very close to those Medic Marines. He doesn't really have to sacrifice them as he's doing right now. Has a Lurker on the ground as well. Just needs to get another Dark Swarm behind that, on top of those drones even, maybe, saving them like that. But HiyA at the very least micromanaging, doing some damage here, but Zerglings are going to come in and surround. Not that much damage on Dark Swarm on top of that, and that's going to get cleared up fairly efficiently by Great. He's in a great position here. Very odd saying that. I remember at one point I used to always call him Hades, but he goes by Great these days, so whatever. Let's see how you're going to pressure at the natural expo this time, but again, a Dark Swarm coming in to prevent that. Going to be forced to siege some of those against a technical. But again, a Dark Swarm coming in to prevent that. Going to be forced to siege some of those against a technical. Zerglings just pushing up all the way up to the north. Lurker going to come in and burrow alongside a Zergling, going to pick off this tank as well. At all times, Great has done a great job of picking off those tanks, and HiyA right now, not very good economic position. He's going to try to pick up another command center. Great actually did not pick up that upper right-hand position as I thought he was going to, but actually just milled forces there instead to try to go for attack and pressure in. Still only at 3 bases, but he has a double gas at the left-hand, so he's in a pretty good position overall. Picks up a Science Vessel with Scourge, so every little bit of damage done, and Great has really come ahead in the engagements. Economically-wise, both players have stayed pretty equal, but coming ahead in the engagements is really giving Great a good opportunity here. Sticking to Lurker, Ling, the Filer. Going to go with those Zerglings at the upper right-hand position. There was an SCV there, possibly thinking of picking up a base. That's going to happen. So Drone actually going to go to that position now, I think. So he's going to try to pick up the second gas. And if he takes that and holds it, basically the idea there is to plant a few forces there, keep them there to defend just in case. It does have an Ultralisk cavern up now as well. But yeah, the idea is to pick up that base. Actually going to pick up a base at the 3 o'clock position. I'm wondering whether he's going to try to double expand to the upper right-hand. At least hold one of these. He's going to be in a decent position. But he does try to pick up that upper right-hand. Nidus Canal is going to be very critical. HiyA going to spot this new position coming up. They'll start off picking up this Overlord. We're going to see whether... I think actually Great canceled that before more troops came in. He felt that it didn't really have what it takes. So instead he's going to pick up that upper right-hand. Has some Zerglings there. Has the Defiler. Has a Lurker. Ooh, picking off more Scourge coming in there. Picking off some Science Vessels. One more. Picking off yet another Science Vessel. One Science Vessel. I think it was a fleet of 5. Still going to manage to irradiate one Defiler, but Defiler is going to put down a couple of Dark Swarms before he dies, just so he can push HiyA back. Doing a great. Okay, it feels as awkward every single time saying that. Doing a great job of picking everything off. Remembered something just now. 55, 56, 57. Sinking is important, kids. Couple of dropships yet again, so HiyA yet again going to try to go for some dropship plays. Still hasn't picked up a third for himself. Oh yeah, never mind, he has, as you all know. As you all will learn from my Valotech videos, it is always, and forever shall be, every single day, is prove wrenching wrong day. It's always that way. Couple of Scourge. I think they got the scout on. There's dropship, nothing else. Dropship going to be forced to fly to the upper right hand. Thought of maybe going for the main. Not altogether too sure. Even more forces of HiyA is going to try to engage in Great. Oh, getting an absolutely beautiful plague off on everything. Lurkers are going to rip the rest of that to pieces, and he has some Ultralisks out there as well. Not quite sure how well upgraded they are. Oh, wow. A couple of Scourge just stopping right short of a Science Vessel. Still managed to pick that off, though. But Great also, I think, is thinking of retaking that 3 o'clock position. Absolutely beautiful play from him here. His Ultras fully, only one weapons, 1 upgrade, but full Carapace upgrades at 5. So he's been focusing on nothing but Carapace upgrades for the most part. And that upper right hand is taken, almost got taken down. Not really quite sure by what. Heisman going to drop on that, has weapons 3 and armor 1. He's going to, oh, this hatchery's going to go down in 2 seconds. There's just, he's going to have to put a Dark Swarm on it. Ultra coming in from behind. Dark Swarm for the forces. Oh, just at the front. Going to push these back as far as he can. He knows if he holds this, he needs to hold that hatchery. He needs to push a Nidus Canal in there, but the Ultra is doing a great job of soaking up all those hits with those armor upgrades. And yeah, the Dark Swarm even a bigger help, and HiyA still has managed to pick up a 3rd, but still not altogether great position. Still some Scourge out there. This time going to get caught. Oh, thought of turning back, but a little bit too late. A couple Ultras alongside some Zerglings. No Defiler support, though. They're not going to manage too much. Just, I think, has a little meat shields. Well, the Dark Swarm barely gets one Dark Swarm off before the Defiler dies. Even more Ultras coming in. Finally going to get irradiated, though. But, you know, irradiated Ultras are also rather dangerous Ultras. They come in and they hit you as well. More Scourge coming in, so he's going to try to continue a little down this Science Vessel number. And Great has just done a... almost managed to pick a 2nd one. But Great has done a very good job of a multiple of things. Never mind winning engagement, picking off yet another Science Vessel. But he's done a number of good things. And one of the biggest ones, I feel, is... Never mind winning the engagements. He's done also a great job of keeping that Science Vessel count low. And HiyA has been, I think, almost double-digit Science Vessel have been taken out. Meanwhile, Great did unfortunately lose that upper right hand. He's retaking, as we speak, also retaking the 3 o'clock. So base-wise and economically-wise, he's not in a wonderful position. But because he's had that double gas going for him for so long, he can still afford to get some of those Ultra out there, and he can still fall back to Lurker Ling. HiyA going to move out yet again. Try to do some damage, but I really think if Hades, aka Great, just managed to put down Canals, his locations not quite microing, his forces not quite paying attention, putting down some Dark Swarms, moving out with those Lurkers, not Dark Swarm support this time. Dark Swarm going to come on top of the Ultras coming from the back as well. But meanwhile, is going to lose his 3 o'clock yet again to Medical Reinforcers. So HiyA is still definitely staying in this game. Ultras thought of moving towards that 12 o'clock, but decided against the Defiler dying before he can do anything there as well. Meanwhile, is going to move towards the natural, plant down. Oh, plant down, beautiful Dark Swarm all across the line. Lurker's going to come in as well. Bunker going to get taken down at the front in seconds. Some radiates coming down to Defiler. Defiler managed to get out one more Dark Swarm before it died. Medic Marine's going to come up to the upper right hand position. No Nidus Canal in place, and the Ultras are going to retreat. They're going to instead go in for the counterattack. So upper right hand is going to go down. One Lurker there, and that's not going to stay alive for too long. Unfortunately, for he's going to lose both of his extra bases, but he went for a counterattack. Hasn't really accomplished much economic harassment. Still staying on 3 bases against HiyA. Coming in with Scourge. Actually, not quite moving in too far. Deciding to pick off the two dropships, and could have actually picked off Science Vessel. So more Ultras, Lurkers, Defilers, getting irradiated, trying to pick it up, but he's trying to put on the pressure in this natural X, but trying to do some damage. Moving in some Zerglings alongside an Ultra to the 12 o'clock. So he's trying to put on constant pressure. He lost 2 bases, trying to reinstate, I suppose. Reinstate my upper right-hand division base, yes. Meanwhile, it's done a lot of damage at this 12 o'clock. So he's focusing high attention to 2 different locations. Actually got a couple of his Ultras double irradiated. His natural, but still I think his natural is well defended. One of the forward Niduses are going to take it out. A couple of Ultras both run out. The second that happens, starting to do some damage. Sunken Colonies fall instantly. Where's the Defiler? He needs a Defiler. He needs to get 1 Dark Swarm off, and they're going to be able to hold this off. Ultras are still going to soak a lot of the damage. Science Vessel goes down, so the Lurker's going to be effective. Meanwhile, he's penetrated the main at this point. Going to take off the 12, and HiyA's not even doing anything. Oh, man. Went for that last-ditch effort attack. Not anything to defend. So Great doing a great job. And wow. Despite the fact that he was denied his 3rd and 4th for an age, that double gas coming through in spades, and HiyA just staring at his base. He still has a chance. GG's, but yeah, he thought he had a chance in that game when he retook his 3rd. But Great dominating him in this one. Great. Wow. Just beautiful game from him. So he's come to play and looks very calm about it. Like, okay, I'm through the round 32, but still don't have my cup, so whatever. HiyA, though, in a little bit of shock. He knows he had an opportunity in that one. Denied bases constantly, but the double gas. Wow. Talk about the double gas helping out a Zerg player. So HiyA's going to move on to the final match. We're going to see who he faces off there. It might be a challenge for him. We're going to see how it happens. So GG guys, wrenching out listening. Hope you enjoyed. Moving on to the losers match. Hey guys, wrenching here, bringing StarCraft commentary. This is going to be the losers match in Group D of the round 32 of the whatever MSL 2010 spring season. The 19th live NBC game Star League. Yes. It's going to be an odd eye. 2. We're going to have Cal, the upper left position, as the teal. That is the left-hand position. That is the 11 o'clock on the clock. That's why we say o'clock. As the teal Protoss. And we're going to have as the yellow Zerg at the bottom right-hand position. At the 5 o'clock, we're going to have YellOw. Going to see whether Cal will manage to erase his loss against Great, where he went for an uber-aggressive strategy, and that unfortunately ended up backfiring on him. Let's see, 36, 37, 38, just in case. You know, sometimes when I cast by myself, I honestly don't really feel the need to do any countdowns or anything. I'm just kind of used to it, and but generally I don't really feel, because I'm pretty sure that the video syncs perfectly. It pretty much always does, as long as I spot the right spot when I go, and so it's gonna be pretty good. Cal probably gonna go for Forge Fast 6-man this time around. The last time certainly didn't, but I think he is gonna do that this time. Send out his initial scouting probe. Gonna see what he uses that for. I actually feel he should have been more successful that build, because he went for 2-gate Zealot rush against the 12 hatch, and that kind of ended up backfiring. Overpull gonna come in here for YellOw. So he's gonna go, you know, a little bit aggressive, force a couple of cannons down before next. I'm gonna try to put on the constant pressure. Actually, I think on an overpull you can actually get the yeah, I'm actually pretty sure, especially with a map of distance like this, you can definitely get the nexus down before the 2 cannons and still make it. So gonna see what Cal goes for. Is he gonna go safe? Is he gonna take a bit of a risk? Has that probe with the Natural Expo. So yeah, YellOw's like, you know what? I'm not even gonna bother with this. Drone goes to the upper right hand to pick up a base there at the 3 o'clock or the 4 o'clock, and just, you know, I'm not gonna bother with this one. So the probe gets to run inside the main, feeling like it did something useful, delaying the Natural Expo for a while. Well, actually delaying that for a while, because this 4 o'clock position is not really a Natural Expo. But still gonna go in there with a probe. Gonna spot the 3 eggs. Nexus first. I think he's gonna be fine, especially since generally Zergs tend to try to pick off the probe before they do anything else. Initial cannon. I'm gonna see the second one coming in alongside very soon, but I definitely think Cal's gonna be in decent enough position. He's gonna be able to hold his back. Yeah, one Zergling to start off. Where are the rest of them? Are they running? I think they're running. But one Zergling there to try to follow this probe. So I think YellOw's actually, or he might have actually just produced drones from that. I see something going on the mini map. Might have been another Zergling, not altogether too sure. But just pressuring this one single probe with a drone and Zergling now. Oh, one more Zergling coming in from the back. The probe's just gonna try to delay this base. I think it's gonna be much harder. Yeah, not gonna manage to do that with those Zerglings there, but definitely he's going to be able to do a good job. Only putting on one cannon, actually, knowing that not that many Zerglings were produced. Putting down the gateway alongside. Next is going to come up fairly soon. Extractor now down for YellOw, and he has his second and third hatcheries on the way. Still just producing drones for now, trying to get his economy up. They're going to try to get that lair up there as soon as possible, maybe. Actually, you know, he might, the way that Cal is playing around, he might actually decide to go for a break. If he gets those 3 hatcheries up there, might just plant down a Hydra's den right now, pick up the probe, plant down a Hydra den right now, and try to get a bunch of them, try to go for a break at the front, because Cal's playing kind of risky. He only has 1 cannon at the front, but never mind, he's going to go for a lair, play good old standard, get that Spire out there, try to snipe that Corsair, and as soon as that part of the game's over, we're going to see the fun builds are going to be coming in. Still just the Cybernetics core out there for Cal, and it is a little bit risky the way his hands there, because that little north opening, there's a little bit of an opening for Zerglings to run by, so 1 cannon is a little bit dangerous, but as soon as there's a Zealot in there, it's going to be able to block that off pretty well. We're still on the way. This 4 o'clock base has started to mine, and Stargate now up for Cal, so we're just going to see whether he goes very heavy Corsairs, because Cal is a player that often enough, despite going for a heavy ground army, does go often enough for a pretty hefty Corsair cascade of Corsairs. So it's, yeah, pretty cool to see him do that. Not a lot of Protosses. I've talked about this a million times. A lot of Protosses go maybe 2 Corsairs, and then just decide to stop production. Cal often goes for 5 or 6, tries to do some damage at all times, running around, just be annoying, try to pick up overlords, because always a chance. Gonna get, try to get in with his probe. Gonna get it picked off, though, so he's trying to make sure he knows what's going on, trying to make sure that he doesn't fall to some sort of pressure, maybe for a bust, early bust, but don't think he didn't get the scout, but I don't think he really put down anything else. Don't think he put down any additional cannons. Has a Dragoon out there as well to pick off his overlord inside of his base. Not going to wait for his Corsair to do that. Probably going to send it out to scout as soon as he can, so he doesn't, doesn't want to waste it sometimes. How does Citadel Doom coming up? That gets spotted by the overlord, though. At the very least, overlord gets a partial scout, going to spot that isn't indeed going to be a Citadel Doom before anything else. And as soon as overlord dies, right now would actually be the perfect time for Cal to tech switch. Just right now, plop down robotics facility. But he's just going to put out an additional gateway, continue on his ground army. He's a guy that can play good. He can play pretty much every style versus Zerg style Protoss has in his repertoire, going for DTs, going for Ser Reaver. But he's a guy that loves his ground army. He's a guy that loves his heavy Zealot builds, Zealot Archons, and he tends to go for that. So let's see. He has a couple of Zealots there alongside the Dragoon at the front. Not much else going on. Still don't think he's going for weapons 1 yet. Don't think I saw that forge spinning overall. Saw prediction hatcheries finally coming out, and that Corsair going to get the full scout. Hydro's then coming out the Natural Expo alongside a production hatch. So Corsair's going to probably kill the overlord, then probably going to go in and scout that. Well, he's going to have to anyway. Zealots and Dragoon actually going to just push out a little bit. Pick off the Drogging. Their second Corsair coming out. Okay, stopping production at 2. So Cal, I was talking about, hey, Cal tends to go very heavy on the Corsairs, but he doesn't do that all the time. He prefers a heavy army. Unfortunately, has a idle probe there. Probably just doesn't notice it because it's very close to the pylon. Kind of sometimes your eyes don't really adjust when you only look at a screen for like, God knows, millionth of a second or something like these pro gamers do. Their APM constantly moving between screens and stuff like that. But no, actually notices the probe there, adds down additional gateways, put down a cannon at his main, gonna see what it does at natural as well, just in case there's gonna be a mutatech switch. But I don't really think he's expecting. Now moving out with several Zealots and a Dragoon, gonna try to put on some pressure. The Dragoon might actually become an important factor in putting down the pressure. They don't do like an insane damage to Drogans or anything, but still a little bit of range support, never a bad thing, especially if some funky happens. Speed now up for those Zealots. Weapons 1, probably not. I don't even think I saw a forge spinning. It might have weapons 1, but I don't know. Not together too sure. The 4 o'clock base, it's going to be very well defended. Sunken colony that's almost impossible to get to. So instead he's going to try the Natural Expo, but I think there's going to be the same story there. 6 Zealots running with speed alongside the Drogi. Yeah, look at that Sunken colony being blocked. But the Zealots are going to manage to get in right amongst those drones, though. Going to pick up a few drones, all the gas mining drones, and back off. A couple of Zergons coming in from the back. At the very least, he's going to hold the contain for a little while. Took some of the shots on the Dragoon. And yet again, moving in with the Zealots, picking off all the gas mining drones. He's actually going to go for running back finally. But denying the gas, 6 drones were to kill. So beautiful job here for Cal. I think he sacrificed the Zealot to do that. Might have even sacrificed something a little bit more than that. But meanwhile, just continuing on the ground army. Has 6 gateways up right now. Has High Templars going in. Has that Templar Archives up, so he's just going to go on these 2 base. Has quite a few High Templars out there. Going to go for a robotics facility alongside to go for those observers. Still in with these Zealots. There are some Hydras out there right now, though, so not going to be able to accomplish as much, but just picking off drones. All sides just doing a beautiful job of denying mining as long as possible. 1 single Zealot can run down and run home and tell everybody of the awesome stuff that they did and the honorable deaths of his comrades. But still, Cal, despite sacrificing some Zealots, done a pretty decent amount of economic damage. And, Mutas at the corner waiting to be used. Weapons 1 upgrades on the opposite side for Cal. But yeah, those Mutas with a Scourge as well. And this could be very heavy, very heavy. Was wondering kind of why there weren't any Hydras. There should have been more Hydras on the ground, but he was actually tech switching. These Zealots are going to spot these, going to be forced to fly back, or are they going to spot these little Mutalisks? Huge amount of Mutalisks. Yarnak might actually finish it right here with these Mutalisks if he managed to catch Cal completely off guard. He's going to have a couple High Templars. Not quite sure if he's morphing them into Archons or what. Has a couple of Corsairs in there. Only 1 cannon inside of his main. His Natural Expo going to be heavily in a very bad position. Zealots still pushing in, picking off gas mining drones, but now these moves are coming right in there. 1 single cannon to defend. That's getting picked off. I think the Corsairs got instantly picked off as well. Probe still mining for as long as possible. They're going to be forced to fly. Have several Dragoons in there, though, to help defend this. Only 4 of them, but really a bad position to move around. High Temper coming in as well. Going to try to storm. Has to be very careful not to storm on top of his own drones. One storm almost. Second storm not quite managing to catch. No cannon at the Natural Expo. Very critical. We're going to see he has another storm in there. An Archon right here would have been absolutely critical for him, but it's not going to be in there. Oh, man, his Mutalist just rancing and doing a huge amount of damage. Another storm, this time catching a lot. And meanwhile, he's putting in the aggressive action himself. Those Zealots in there trying to pick up as many drones as possible, but Cal's still in a pretty bad position. He's done a decent amount of economic damage, but just lost a lot of Zealots and a lot of ground troops as he does. So moving inside the main now, trying to pick off even more drones before he loses these Zealots. But the drones are going to get it surrounded and pick off all those Zealots. So Mutals have been forced back thanks to the help of High Templars and very heavy Dragoons. But still a decent amount of damage done. Quite a few probes picked off. Double digits, definitely. Cannons being put down. Double cannons at the main. Probably going to see double cannons at the natural. And Yarnik already done a lot of damage. The cannons at the main. Natural going to be forced down. And more Hydras moving out, though. So wondering whether Cal still has those storms out. Won't have the storm count he wants to attack those Hydras. Mind you, thankfully for him, Yarnik doesn't have a huge amount. And Cal does have a lot of those Dragoons to support his High Templars. Which, mind you, as I've said before, they don't fight very well, magnificently toe-to-toe against Dragoons, but they do fight. They can take a lot of hits, and with High Templar support, they can, especially in the large number like this, they can still do a lot of damage. So Cal, at the very least, despite taking that economic damage, still has a sizable army. The economic damage he took won't really come into play until like a minute or two after it's been done, so he's going to try to mill out, going to try to do some damage. Has a couple Corsairs alongside, might be actually thinking of going some hunting. But 12 o'clock position, a lot of Hydras there just waiting to be used, waiting to go and kill something. A couple of Sunken Colonies going to come at the front, make sure that Cal can't do much this time. He's actually going to go for the 4 o'clock position, and he wants blood. He wants to do something. These Dragoons are going to be able to range and take a lot of this out. Sunken Colony going to go down in seconds. Going to be some Scourge coming in the air, but the Goons are going to pick all of them off before the Corsairs. Anything happens to the Corsairs. Going to have a Mulas coming in at the back. Some storms. Nice storms on top of the Hydras. Hydras not going to be able to accomplish much at all. High Templar still sitting in there, still alive. This 4 o'clock base is going to be in a huge jeopardy. A nice storm yet again on the Hydras. Yarnak not managing to move out of the way. I think a High Templar was snapped in there, but still Cal. Beautiful counter pressure. He took a lot of economic damage. He knows he has to do some of it, so he's going to be able to pick off this entire location. 1 Second Colony sitting there, but that's not going to do much. Some of the drones were picked off. Another storm, only on a couple of Hydras. This time a third storm hitting the Mutalisk very well now. Still a huge counter, and GG coming in from Yarnak. Just, wow, beautiful push in there from Cal. Basically knew if the game went on for way too long, might have actually equaled out a little bit, but beautiful job for Cal. First by putting on the constant pressure, constantly denying that gas at natural, picked off double-digit drones despite sacrificing Zealots, and then went out with a huge Dragoon army, which he pumped out in seconds. And so Yarnak's out of this now, and meanwhile, Cal's going to have a shot to get into the round 16, facing off against HiyA, and in his specialty. So we're going to see what happens. GG guys, thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed, and moving on to the final match of the group. Hey guys, ArnC here. This is going to be the final match in Group D of the round 32 of the whatever MSL 2010 spring season. The ArnC in MSL continues. Yes, represent. We're going to have Cal, a.k.a. Godzilla. God, I hope he makes it through just so I can keep doing that. At the upper right-hand position, as the teal protest in the bottom left-hand position, we're going to have HiyA as the blue Terran. HiyA. So maybe I should actually root for HiyA just so I can keep saying HiyA. How ya neighbor? No. So it's basically a guy that goes around saying HiyA against Godzilla. So it's gonna be insane. 34, 35. It's not really necessary, but I'm doing it anyway. For light-seeking purposes, so that if it does appear and you guys are like, oh, ArnC is quarter of a second off sync, why that crazy old man? Well, I'm not really old, I'm young. Still got more life left to lead. I actually feel like I'm younger than I actually am. Ever had that? Probably because, like, you still do those hobbies, video games, and all that stuff, and you're casting professional esports. That's insane. But, this is pretty much each of the players' best matchup, and this is HiyA's best shot at getting to the round of 16. He is a versus Protoss specialist, very much a sniper in that regard. Has, I believe, a 60%, 61% win rate. Cal Meanwhile, has lately become a versus Terran specialist himself, where he used to be a Zerg sniper, but kind of switched that over to become much stronger against Terrans lately. He's going to put up his initial gateway and then scout with his probe, so nothing together unstandard going in here. HiyA sending out his SCV towards behind the mineral lines just to make sure that Cal doesn't go for anything crazy. He did see what happened, mind you, it didn't work out, but he did see what happened against Great, and he doesn't want to be the victim of some such shenanigans himself. So some people there are sitting there not really looking at anything, staring at their little... Did that guy have a DS or something? I don't know. But yeah, some people, not everybody being overall too excited, which is sad because Cal is like awesome. He's one of my favorite. Aside from Bisu and Stork, Cal is my favorite. Well, yeah, Cal's my favorite Protoss player. To be most likely followed by Movie. Those four are, like, for me, like the Protoss players to watch. Booyah. Of course, there are other good players out there, but for me, those guys are the thing. Those guys are it, the best. Yes. So let's see. Cal, one gateway, first initial Zealot, saw some of his core getting put up there. Pretty sure we're going to see what HiyA goes for, whether he decides to go for a quick fast expo or try to pressure instead. Initial Zealot actually going to go out there and scout. But of course, Zealot's very powerful scouts. They can survive, take quite a few hits. Initial factory coming down, and I think I saw, one single SCV mining from the refinery, and Cal spots that, so Cal's know what's coming at him. Cal knows, this is going to be a fast expansion, so he most likely will counter by planting down his own expo. He might actually switch it over to try to go for something a lot more pressure heavy, but I'm not altogether too sure. Setting out that initial Zealot, I'm not quite sure if he has that probe there waiting for it. It's actually going to go out there and maybe try to do some damage. Initial Marine is already there, never mind. He's going to have another Marine, and that barracks and the supply depot standing next to each other are going to be very effective. Second gateway coming down for him actually before that expo, so he might be switching over to pressure build, going to maybe try to pump some heavy Dragoons and do some damage. Zealot going to go in there trying to engage the Marine. But two Marines engaging each other. The CV, close to being put down, but not happening. Probe going to go down. The CV will die, and the Zealot doing that. Like, oh, well, we had to sacrifice a heavily advanced AI worker. But the Rogues took it on SCV, yay. On the opposite side, 7 Hours Core is spinning and going to be a Dragoon produced. And this might be a fake out on his part, but I really believe that is just Goon range. He's going to try to go in and pressure with 2-gate goons, try to do some damage. SCV's got finally killed, and initial Dragoon going to go out there. 4 Marines on the opposite side going to be waiting for 5th Marine coming up as well. No more Marine production, most likely just going to halt that, continue mining, and continue. Cal, meanwhile, going to push out. I think Sai is just going to get his initial tank going, then just go for the standard. Get those 5 Marines there, get a tank, get a Vulture. If he gets a tank, he actually goes Vulture first, so it might be going mines first before, probably going mine first actually now that he gets his Vulture out there, but so many players do that, generally get mines before siege. So we're going to see what it does the same here. Going to put down his command center, so his actually expansion coming in very late. I thought he was going to expand much sooner, but he decided against that, actually put down his factory. I've decided not to plant down the command center right at the Natural Expo. Meanwhile, Cal does put down his own Nexus, so yeah, HiyA kind of did cut his production, did cut his gas mining, but still didn't really go very heavily. That's probably why his tank's being delayed heavily. He did go for that mine upgrade, but doesn't have any tanks out there. Just going to be able to defend with Vultures and those mines. And commands are going to float up as soon as that becomes available. Actually going to send 1 Vulture out there. As planet mines outside of that Cal, to be very careful not to catch his Dragoons in that. Very careful outside those mines. He should know those are up there. Vulture still mining against that. So micro against that Cal. Oh, yeah. Just stops outside those mines. Like, you know what? Nah, I don't think that's going to be very healthy to go out there. There's no sign that says, beware of minefield or something like that. And usually with, like, a skull and crossbones in there. But, or, like, a picture of a dude flying in the air with one of his eggs flying in another direction. Then he's flying and a little explosion on the bottom. I don't know if those sizes exist. But if those do, I think they tell me pretty good exactly what's going on. I'd rather have one of those signs than a skull and crossbone, because skull and crossbones just kind of tells me, danger here, do not move forward. And I'll be like, okay, what kind of danger? What should I be expecting? What should I know? But dude flying, but a dude in the air with some of his body parts flying in many different directions and a small explosion pretty much tells me not to pretty much turn around and go in the opposite direction and run. And not being silly. So that's that. We saw Cal also putting down his observatory. So he's going to try to get the scout in there. He doesn't really know, hasn't really been able to get the scout for a while. Doesn't know exactly what HiyA's going for, but also putting down Citadel Dunes. So going to go pretty standard Goon Zealot start off. We saw the first initial tanks coming out from HiyA, and he's now putting down his academy, so he's going to have some concentration up as well, because he himself hasn't really gotten the scout out. But he might actually decide to push now. Has a few vultures. He's planted some mines outside, so he's going to be able to pressure. Cal putting on a couple pylons next to those mineral fields just to make a smaller chokes. He has a different, I think, 5 Dragoons? Decent number of Dragoons out there. Probe that are waiting, I think, to plop down some more tech as soon as he's available. That Silver Doom come down, so probably going to see Stargate in the upper right-hand position. Ooh, yeah. Planning on Stargate upper right-hand. This might be Arbiters. Most likely Arbiters. I've been surprised before. And don't forget, every day is Prove Ranch and Wrong Day, so I might get completely surprised. Meanwhile, HiyA going to move out quite a few Marines, large Marine count. He did go out and clear those mines, so he's going to be pushed back now, but at the very least, he wasn't trying to put a base down. Put a base down. 3 tanks. There are a lot of Marines, so they're going to be able to eat up a lot of these Dragoon hits. Vultures coming in close, planting mines as well, going to force some of these Dragoons back. Cal with some decent anti-mine micro. One man managed to come down. Another mine at the front. Still no mines coming down. All the Marines finally dead, so the Dragoons are going to come in, going to try to pressure, picking off a tank. Continue coming in the pressure, going to try to pick off the second tank, going to get picked off. Good, nice anti-mine micro, but finally pushing back with these Dragoons. Going to have to be very careful not to get those Vultures. Oh, Vultures going to manage to get inside the main. Both of them very heavily damaged. He's going to plant down a couple of mines at the walkway. Yeah, there's an observer in there, so he's going to come in and save the day. But still, that Vulture might actually manage a couple probe kills before that happens. Tank here at the front, heavily damaged. One more hit on that's going to go down. Probe's actually coming out to pick off the Vulture. 3 Vultures here at the front, and tank being repaired by the SCV slowly but surely. The Dragoon comes out and takes one shot at that. It might take that down. Mine's going to be planted on top, and Cal actually blocking off to make sure that Vultures can't get through here. Observer coming down, spotting the mines, but now taking damage from the siege tank. Unfortunately, he's going to siege up, but he's actually going to attack across the bridge with the Dragoons. Oh, HiyA with a very timely unsiege there earlier, and Cal actually blocking himself in with that one single pylon, but he knows he doesn't want those Vulture run-bys. But at the very least, HiyA doing a good job with some constant pressure, adding in 3 additional factories. Still don't know what exactly Cal went for there at the back. They haven't showed that in a while. It's going to be scouts. Oh, man. Cal's going to go for a scout. Going for Arbor Tribune. He's going to go for a scout just to pick off those tanks, those Grand Force. Nothing anti-air. So this is actually a move of brilliance. He's done this before. Or wasn't it Cal? I'm pretty sure it was Cal that played against Fujiji in the Arena MSL and went for scouts and used those pretty well. It's going to be a lot of mines amongst those probes. All those going to get picked off, and those Vultures just ripping into those probes, only getting picked off, a bunch of them running towards the assimilators. But all the Vultures getting cleared out, and the scout actually eventually going to be able to pick off the tank. The Dragoons are coming in close. Why are they doing that? Why do you do that, Cal? Just let the scouts fly up there and pick off everything. Just let them take care of the problem. Of course, you missed in a lot just to get that scout out there, but hey, yay for scout that manages to go out there and pick tanks. Now he's going to go around there, clear up some of those mines. And he really needs to pick up a base. Really needs to pick up the mineral. He lost quite a few probes in there. He needs to catch up economically. He's going to have his initial arbor out very soon. And not quite sure. I assume HiyA scouted this. I assume he scanned for this. But I still don't see him producing any Goliaths. Despite that scout out there, he feels, okay, one scout. What's a one scout? I produced 1 Goliath. That's going to take care of the scout. No problem. But still a lot. Very Vulture heavy. Already planting mines. Already coming in at the Natural Expo. Going to force even more mine clearing from these Dragoons and these Observers. So just constantly annoying Cal, if nothing else. And scout going to come into in here trying to pick off some civies, but turret in a very good position. Actually going to pick off an observer, but the scout's just going to now harass the tanks as they fly in very close. Scout actually lost all of his shields, but still mostly safe other than that. He's just going to try to follow this. So slow. Damn, this scout's just so slow before he gets his upgrade. Darn it. Yeah, it's one of the bad things. They're very expensive units, and you need to give them a speed upgrade and a vision upgrade to make them useful. Probe there at the front. Whoa, careful, micro. No! Gets a couple of his Dragoons hit by that mine. Where not his observer in the wrong place, but his Cal still has a very sizable force. Still those tanks moving out. The scout being overall annoying. If he actually went in, maybe for get one more scout out there, he might actually be able to prevent those SCVs from doing any sort of repairing. A Vulture's going to plant down mines all across the low ground here. There is going to be a Zealot bomb. There's going to be a Zealot bomb. The Marines in there to take some shots. And there is the Zealot bomb. I didn't see any Zealot bomb yet. Yeah, come on, your shuttle's taking a lot of hits. Doing the Zealot bomb. Zealot finally coming there. The shuttle is gonna go down from one more hit. Yep, goes down. But the scout does some revenge, but still a lot of forces being picked off of Cal's. He did manage to get a decent Zealot bomb off. No mine drags that were too effective. Still, he has his initial Arbiter already producing his second one, so at the very least he's going to be able to add Cloak to this, force a lot of scans on that. Some Goliaths out there just now coming out for him. Still that Scout being annoying, but the Goliath in there, so he's going to force that Scout back. He wants to keep that Scout alive because it's an investment. It's a big investment, so, want to keep that alive. Still Tank's going to start shelling in Natural Expo as soon as that Barracks come in there. Oh, it's going to take an H to take that out. Meanwhile, Cal's actually going to move across his mineral only, going to try to do some damage there, but he's going to get his Shell Dragoons, and a Scout going to come in there like, tanks, die, leave my homeland, go away. It's going to take an H to pick those off. Goliath's going to come in there as well, and Scout's just, okay, so he's going to attack the Barracks, force that off. So at the very least, Scout's useful in that. It does a decent amount of anti-air damage. Cal, meanwhile, actually moved across the middle, has Arbiter support some of the Dragoons. Has to be very careful not to lose those to mines, though. Still a lot of Vultures. HiyA really utilizing these Vultures well, planting on mines all over the place, and still just competing 2 base on 2 base. I think Cal, picking up a lot of those mines there, but I think Cal might have, I'm not quite sure if he's picked up a 3rd base yet. HiyA's picking up his mineral only now. Cal, picking up his mineral only as well. There's actually a mine there waiting to kill a lot of things. Scout still desperately trying to pick off that Barracks, but a lot of damage has been done. A lot of mining stopped at this Natural Expo. So Cal, oh man, constantly being pressured. Vultures yet again coming up the ramp, and just has that shuttle inside. Nothing to bomb from it. Darn. Well, you got that almost dying Dragoon. Why not just, utilize it, bomb it? But he's actually thinking of going for a counterattack with Arbiter to support. And it might be a good idea, might not be. He has some observers to support as well. His Natural Expo is going to get picked off. And he just does not manage to pick off tanks due to those civvies being all pesky and repairing and doing that thing. So a couple of Dragoons actually going to mill around here and catch a lot of tanks and such. I'm wondering whether Cal's thinking of going for sort of attacking from the back, attacking those forward forces from the back. Is going to attack on top of the ramp. Going to have the Arbiter there. Has to be very careful not to pick that off. The Cloak really coming in handy here. Tanks, got some scans being used by HiyA, but these tanks getting cleared off really well. He really needs to clean up this tank group inside of his own main. I think with the forces he has and the Arbiter to support it, would be able to do that. Now finally going to lose his Scout. No, he's not going to lose his Scout. Or will he? Yeah, Marine's coming in close now. Nexus goes down. Scout going to go down momentarily. Shuttle's still there, dropping some Zealots on top of stuff, but no mines. They're close to him to drag by. And Cal's mineral only going to get, oh man, heavily ransacked. No mining going on there. He has only his main to mine, and probably not doing too well. Oh, Vultures might actually take this down. Finally going to go for this full attack. Has an Arbiter in there. Decided no, backing off. The Cloak, not enough. Scans coming in for HiyA, but Cal desperately trying to pressure this Natural Expo. I'm not really quite sure what Cal can do back to get in this game. He does have the Arbiters out there. He does have that Scout that's desperately trying to kill something, but can't. Just the Arbiter's not being utilized. He's mining, distance mining gas from the second assimilator. Can't save his Nexus as mineral only. That's going to, okay, the Arbiter comes in with some forces at the back. That getting mined right into that Dragoon, and a lot of this stuff getting picked off. One Arbiter to fight back several Vultures. Another mine going to hit some Dragoons. Probe's going to run towards that mineral only to try to do some Dragoons as well. Still has that Scout in there. They're slowly but surely killing tanks. Takes an age. More mines going to hit. Oh, man. Cal just not on target this game. Just really feel he's not quite on target. Pressured from very early on, and not really managing to get himself into the position he needs to be. Is mining from his mineral only, but not really much else going on. One DT going to come out, but mine's going to pick it off in seconds. Going to lose his command center as mineral only. Tanks pushing on all sides, so HiyA bring the game here, and I have to live with an MSL without Cal after his magnificent performance last season, getting to the semifinals where he got completely destroyed by Jaedong, the eventual champion, but he had a good run nonetheless. Unfortunately, this time around, it's going to get knocked down there at 32, so I'm kind of disappointed, hoping this is not the story for the entire thing. But still, HiyA bringing pretty good games. Oh, Nexus being planted behind the minerals, hoping to hide it, but Probe getting picked off, and just the death throws going on right now here for Cal. Cal really has no chance of getting back into this. HiyA's mining on. I'm not actually even sure if he managed to pick up the 9 o'clock. I think it actually got picked off. Stasis finally coming in, picking up some of those tanks. The Dragoons might actually manage to mop up here, but Goliath will most likely pick off the Arbiter. Has to be very careful in that. But HiyA's right now picking up his upper left hands. Only been mining from two bases a long time, but he's done enough damage, done enough pressure. Not that many forces left inside that base. Arbiter like, no. You want to get killed by a scout? I didn't think so. So go away. Yeah, he's gonna manage to pick off some of those tanks at the front, but still just does not have the troop production, does not have the economy to continue fighting this. Arbiter desperately trying to cloak that one single scout so he can pick off that tank, so the dragoons can come in and do the rest. I feeling safe enough to do that now. Tank can attack those cloaked units. Has a couple arbiters on the scout and some troops. And HiyA really not very heavy on the troops, but has more. Oh, losing an arbiter there, and every arbiter for now counts. Scan going off there. That wasn't really as necessary. Oh, man, shuttle goes down as well. Everything going wrong for Cal here. Trying to produce something for that Nexus to try to mine those minerals, but just in a desperate situation right now. The arbiter is going for one more stasis, another stasis. The arbiter is going to get picked off. Oh, just managed to save one arbiter and pick it off some of those mines with scouts. The scout finally dies, so the dragoons are going to come in here trying to pick off as they can. Arbiter's coming in to support, to cloak. So overall doing a good job, but no mining in his main. Yeah, finally has some probes here at the mineral only, so a little bit of mineral intake. Manages to surround these tanks here, and most likely will actually manage to pick these off. But oh god, just HiyA picking up this upper left hand. He's still pushing out with some. They're very little, kind of piecemeal, but still enough to do this. Arbiter goes down. All of the arbiters are one more arbiter in there, but not nearly enough dragoons. This is going to be the last forces that Cal has on the ground. It loses the arbiter already, and nothing but these dragoons. Not nearly canyon close enough to fight these tanks. Tanks in a huge group, so stasis would have been huge there, but not enough. That Nexus now getting it picked off. The last probes, the last mining for Cal. Cal just, being stubborn, not wanting to GG. These last few goons are going to try to come in, and you can pretty much spot he's in a horrible position. Not mining whatsoever now, unless I think some of the probes are still alive for that. But finally GG coming in from Godzilla. And HiyA, you looked at this group, you probably didn't expect HiyA to be one of the people moving out. But he's played pretty well. I feel actually this match was pretty much sloppy on both players' parts, so kind of disappointed there. You kind of probably heard in my voice. I was like, yeah, you're going attacking, you're going there. I actually feel if Cal had gone for carriers, he would have been able to take this. It's a map that's better suited for arbiters, definitely match point that is, but still feel that carriers, if he'd taken carriers, he might have actually done some more damage, especially if he'd hit them. But you know, what ifs, maybes, and all those things don't matter whatsoever. So we're going to see what happens. HiyA and Great, a.k.a. Hades, being the guys that move out, and Cal and Yarnak, most likely the two favorites, or Cal definitely, getting knocked out. So what are you going to do? GG, guys, wrenching out. That's what I said there. Thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed. I am going to go and rest up because my brain feels like it's melting. It feels like it's on heroin, except it's not on heroin. But it's a lot like in that commercial where a chick takes the egg and presses it down on a table and smacks it with that frying pan. That's kind of what my brain feels like right now because I'm tired. Because I was casting Winners League with Nuke. I hate that guy. No, not really. I love that guy. So later, guys. Bringing on Group E. I think that's next eventually. Sorry these games are coming in a little bit late, but we're pretty much getting all of the MSL. We got 2 groups playing a day. Kind of unprecedented, and they're being played through very quickly. So I'm going to try to follow up as fast as I can. GG.